ERP versus CRM both cost you 50,000 euros. Pick the wrong one first and one of them sits unused for a year while someone else in your company makes excuses for it. And before this goes anywhere, I am not reviewing these tools from the outside. No, I built the CRM module inside our own ERP myself. So hold on to that, because at the end of this video, it changes everything I'm about to tell you. So here is what nobody explains. Most CRMs today, they can already do some invoicing. And most ERPs, they have a small CRM module already built in. So the question is not, what does each tool do? Because both do a lot. The real question is not ERP or CRM. It is what kind of company you are, and that I can settle in 3 questions. It is not what the vendor wants to sell you. It's 3 questions about your business. So here's how I actually decide. This is the order of questions I walk owners through every single time. So question number 1 is, what kind of company are you? If your business, it is sales-led, you sell projects, you sell services, you sell marketing, you do consulting. When you spend weeks negotiating with one client before they sign, then your bottleneck is the sales process. CRM first, because every single deal, it lives in this relationship. You need to track these calls. You need to track the follow-up, the proposal, and who said what to whom. That's a CRM's job. This is where it shines. But if your business, it is goods-led, you sell physical product, you have a stock, you do repairs, you have a workshop, you produce something, then your bottleneck is what happens after the sale. The stock is wrong, the deliveries are late, the invoices, they don't match the orders. Then it is ERP first. Because in your case, the sale itself is usually fast. The clients, it says yes, and then the chaos starts. Most small companies I walk into, they are in the second bucket. The sale, it is messy, but it works. The wheels, they actually fall off once the deal it closes, and that's where the ERP, it earns its money. Moving on to question number 2. How many salespeople do you have? If you have 2 or 3 salespeople, the CRM module inside your ERP, it is probably enough. Don't buy a separate CRM. You are paying for features 10 people, 20 people would use, but you have 3. If you have 10, 20 salespeople with territories, pipelines, marketing, now a dedicated CRM, it actually earns its keep, because below that, it is just overkill. And finally, question number 3, do you have an ERP already, or are you about to get one? Because if you do, check the CRM module first. I had the client, they paid for a full CRM, real license fees every single month. They used less than 10% of it. No statistics, no pipeline, no automation. They use it for one thing, to generate the printout on a price proposal. And that's it. So the first thing we did when we implemented ERP, we shut the CRM down. Because everything they actually used was already centralized in our system. They were paying for features they did not need. What is a salesperson's job? A salesperson's job, it is to sell. It is not to fill out forms. It is not to do administrative work. Every single second they spend in the office not selling, you are losing money. So whether you ask them to fill out in the CRM or the ERP, it has to generate revenue. It has to lead to revenue. Your sales team's job, it is to sell, not to do data entry. I tell you how I think about this. A deal, it can close 100 different ways. Here's a very good example. In Europe, this is how a salesperson closes the deal. Salesperson invites the client to dinner. They go out, they drink a bottle of wine, they are both drunk, then they sign on a piece of paper, on a napkin. The salesperson comes to the office, gives the napkin to the secretary, and the secretary does the job. That's a fine way to close a deal. We don't question the method, because the method, it worked. What you have to make sure is that the system behind that napkin, the CRM or the ERP, actually picks up from there and it does its jobs. The salesperson sold, everything else is the system. And I always say it like this. When you buy a car, you can buy a Nissan Micra. You can go on vacation with it. You can buy an orange Lamborghini and go on vacation with it. Both will get you there. But if you are a family of 5 with luggage, neither one fits. You actually need a van. And most companies, they get talked into buying the orange Lamborghini because the vendor demo, it looked really good. Or they buy the Micra because it was very, very cheap. They don't buy the van, which is the right tool for the actual situation. So look at your company. What is it? Is it sales-led, goods-led, or mixed? Here is something the CRM vendors are going to hate me for saying. And I know what I'm talking about because I am one of them. If you're a small or medium business, you have 2 salespeople and you already have an ERP, you probably do not need a separate CRM. Use the CRM module in your ERP and save the license fees. Most companies, they bought a Salesforce because they do advertising on Formula One, or they bought a HubSpot because they heard on LinkedIn that it's really good. They use maybe 20% of it. They are paying for this orange Lamborghini and they are driving it to the bakery. And one last thing, even when the CRM is the right tool, the software working, it is not enough. Because I've watched sales teams sabotage CRM rollouts on purpose, especially in finance, because they did not want their client book in a system that the company could see. The relationships that the salesperson had with their clients, it was their leverage, it was the value on their market. So the software, it worked, but the salespeople, they made it fail. But that's a whole different video. It's the one that I'm filming next. So before you spend the money, ask yourself, what kind of company are you? Sales-led or goods-led? How many salespeople you actually have? And ask yourself whether the ERP you've already got, it does the CRM job. So 3 questions, answer them honestly, and you're already ahead of every company that spent 50K on the wrong one. Don't buy the orange Lamborghini, buy the van.